lovelies, thanks for stopping by today. So today we are making rich, fluffy Nigerian akara. Very yummy and very easy to make. Welcome to the sumptuous side of YouTube. My name is Teresa Metuka. For my non-Nigerian, akara is a popular snack in West Africa, especially in Nigeria. And the best beans to use when making akara is this light brown beans called the honey beans. It is very delicious, very yummy. So the first thing you want to do when making akara is to pick the beans to remove the dirt and the sand from the beans. And the next thing you want to do is to soak the beans so that the peel of the beans will fall off easily. You can soak the beans for 5 minutes or the back of the beans to fall off easily, or soak for 30 to 2 hours for the akara to be very fluffy. I'll be explaining this later as the video proceeds. So like I said in the beginning, this is a rich akara. So some of the ingredients are not common ingredients to see in akara, like this chicken. Just trust this process. I promise you is very delicious. So I'm just chopping chicken breasts into very tiny chunks, just like the minced form of it. You can use your food processor and anything to chop your chicken very finely. So the next thing I'm cutting is some onions. Beans and onions are like two best friends, so make sure you're using a lot of onions. So the next thing to do is to add very little oil to a saucepan and then add in your onions. Allow the onions to get caramelized in order for the onions to release its natural sweetness. So once the onions are caramelized, the next thing I'm adding is this tomato mix. This is just pepper, tomato, and red bell pepper, and this has already been boiled. So I just want to make a sauce out of this. You can decide to make use of freshly blended tomato, pepper, and tatashe or red bell pepper mix, and allow it to dry before moving to the next process. Or you can just decide to skip the sauce part and just add your chicken and let the chicken cook. But because I said I wanted to make a sauce out of it, so that's why I made use of the tomato mix. So the only spices I'm going to be using for this is the seasoning cube. Akara is very easy to make. It doesn't really need any much ingredients, so that's why I'm sticking to only seasoning cube. You can also stick to just salt because you don't want to just overpower the akara with a lot of spices. So just stick with the basics spices, salt or seasoning cube. Allow the chicken to cook. Once it's cooked, scooped out and set aside. Another protein I'm making use of is fish, and I'm making use of Titus fish. Fish and beans pairs well very nicely. All I added here is just salt. Apart from even just trying to stick to the basis of not adding much spices to fish or whatever protein I'm using, Titus fish basically doesn't really need anything. It just needs salt. Just cook this and that is it. So this is our beans that has been soaked for 30 minutes. Like I said, if you want to get fluffy beans, is that you soak for 30 minutes, that's 2 hours. That's how to get fluffy akara, not beans. I said beans before, not akara. So the next step to our akara making is adding water to your blender. This is to help the blender to move to the next process, and then add in your beans. So I just wash off the water out of the beans and then I'm adding this to the blender. If you want, let me just explain better. If you want to make fluffy akara, just soak your beans for 30 to 2 hours. You will see that the beans will just swell a bit. Do not pass this timing to 30 to 2 hours. If you pass this timing, your beans is going to be very hard, and that's not what you want. Or if you want your beans peel to just come off easily, you don't want to spend that much time, just soak for 5 minutes and you'll see that it is going to help with the removing of the back of the beans. So what you want to do right now is to add enough water to your blender and use the pause function to extract the back of the beans. Just like you can see in this video, I'm just using the pause function and not blending the beans, just some few pauses, and that is it. So I learned this method from Uzom's Kitchen. Thank you so much for teaching me this very easy method of extracting or removing the back of the beans. Very easy. Like in 2 minutes you are done with moving the back of your beans. So after some few minutes or seconds of using the pulse function of your blender, remove the beans out of the blender and place into a large bowl. Add enough water and drain out using a drainer. I'm just making sure that the peels of the beans comes in on top of the water, and then I just drain out the peel of the beans, and then I wash this a couple of times for the peel of the beans to come up, and then I drain out. So I'm just going to stop explaining now and just allow you to watch the process. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit on the like button. Comments below. I would love to hear from you. Will you give this recipe a try, or have you tried out this recipe? Please let me know at the comment section. You can also share this video to your WhatsApp, to your Facebook, to your Instagram, to your family members, and to all those that sell akara. They can make tons of money by trying at this rich akara. We all know how the making donut has taken over the industry. So this rich akara too can take over the industry, and you make tons of money by selling it. So share. And if you're watching out of Nigeria, please let me know at the comment section, or you're watching in Nigeria, let me know where you're watching from. Thanks for all your love. Thanks for all your support. I say it in all my videos. Thank you. Please do not forget to keep liking, sharing, and commenting. It means a lot to me. As you can see, the back of the beans is off this beans. Very easy method to follow. Just follow it, and in less than minutes you are done washing the beans or removing the back of the beans. So the next thing I'm going to do is to blend. I'm just adding here I added water and the beans to my blender, and then I'm making use of pepper, red bell pepper, and onions. So people dice this into the blended beans, but I'm blending everything together. So whichever one you want to do is either you want to just chop this and add to your blended base, or you want to blend it together. So when making akara, we don't need to add tomato, because tomato is just going to add more liquid to it. And making akara, you need to be mindful of the amount of liquid you add to it, because if you add too much liquid to your akara, it won't form akara. It will just form a very wet paste. You try to fry it and it won't fry. So another thing you want to do when making fluffy akara is not to overcrowd your blender. As you can see here, I added too much beans to the blender, so I have to scoop it out and just add enough. And then please be mindful of the water. Right here, the water seems a bit much, but the next blending, I will not add water. I'm just going to use the paste of this and blend the next beans. And then when making akara, you want to make sure that your mixture is not smooth. It's not that it doesn't have to have teeth, like I was showing you here. Like if you see this blended beans that are blended is not smooth, but this is not what your akara should look like, because this has teeth. I had a reason for doing this. I'll be explaining as we proceed in the video. So the next beans you are blending, do not add water. Just add the batter paste or the beans paste to your blender and add the beans and blend. So mix the two mixture together. So like I said, I didn't blend this the way akara should be, just a bit longer in the blender, and it would have been perfect for akara, because I was going to blend this again, so that's why I stopped blending. I was making this for a customer, and she's pregnant, and she told me her specification, so that's why I did not go back and blend it the way the akara should look like. But I was showing you how akara should look like as we continue. So the next thing you want to add is onion. Like I said, onions and beans are two best friends, so you want to add onions and salt. So that is basically what akara looks like. Akara is just beans, pepper, onions and salt. So you can just decide to add your bell pepper, and like I said, you can decide to just chop it or you blend it. So whichever one you want to do, just make sure your beans is well blended, not too smooth, and it doesn't have teeth. So that's it. Just taste it, that if you can taste it, to see if the salt is enough. Do not over add salt. Like beans really doesn't need any much ingredients. This is just rich akara, so that's why we are adding the other ingredients. So what I'm doing here is just to scoop the batter, because one, I'm going to be adding the fish, and then one, I'm going to be adding the chicken. So to the fish, I just shredded it, just remove the bones, and I shredded it, and that's all. So I did not do any other thing to it. And then the next one, I just added the chicken and mix. So like I said, this was for a pregnant woman, and she wanted this to be blended again. She just wanted to taste the fish and she wanted to taste the chicken, but she didn't want to see it. So that's why I did not blend this the way the akara should be blended, because I was going to blend it again. So if you are not blending it again, just blend it the way the akara should be blended and adding your chicken and your fish. So we're going to be deep frying our akara, so just have enough oil to a frying pan. So this is what your akara batter should look like. It is not runny and it's not smooth. It's in between smooth and not smooth, but it doesn't have teeth. So this is what your akara mixture should look like. Just stir this very well and add to your hot oil. Please ensure your oil is hot but not too hot, as you want your akara to fry through. So let me just summarize some things. First, you should make sure that you do not add too much water when you are blending your beans. And then the next one, you need to blend your beans in between smooth and not smooth, but it should not have teeth. If your akara has teeth, it will not fry inside. Like, you will fry and the inside will be raw. So your batter should look like this. And if you do that, you have a very nice akara. You can see how it's just entering into the hot oil without losing its shape. So that is what your batter should look like. I'm just using a spoon to add this to our hot oil, and that's it. And I fried for 3 minutes on each side. If you are unclear about any part of this video, please go to the comment section and drop your question. I will definitely respond to it. So another thing that people might be wondering is that with the addition of the chicken or fish, make the akara to fry inside? Yes, it will fry absolutely well the way the other akara fries well. And will you taste the chicken or the fish? Absolutely. Even if you blend it again, or even if you just leave it as a whole, you will still taste it. Like, you will taste it very, very nice, I promise you. Like you can see, our akara is almost ready. So just flip to the other side and make sure both sides fry well. Like I said, just fry each side 3 minutes. So when you're frying, just check the heat. Do not fry on hot heat and do not fry on low heat, because if you fry on low heat, it's just going to soak oil and it will just be oily. So once your akara is properly fried, just scoop out and place in a paper towel to remove the excess oil, and I promise you, you'll enjoy every bit. Like, this my customer said she didn't even want to share with her husband. Like, she just gave her husband like only 4 out of this akara. Like, it was super yummy and very, very delicious. So try it. Let me know at the comment section how it turned out to be. So some people might ask, how can they differentiate the chicken and the fish? So what you would do is just to separate the two. Once you fry the one with the chicken, you put on one side, and once you fry the one with the fish, you put on another side. So with the oily taste of chicken or fish, absolutely not. It will just taste like akara. It's just the inside that you can differentiate that one is chicken and one is fish. Just look at how fluffy this akara looks. It even looks rich without you even knowing that there's any addition of fish or chicken to it. Very nice. So if you follow the method, like I said, of how to make fluffy akara, I promise you this is how your akara is going to look like. Very yummy and very delicious. So when you're adding the next addition of your batter, please make sure you stir before adding to the oil, so that in case the water separates, you have mixed everything together and add to your hot oil and fry and enjoy your delicious akara. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. So if you've enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit on the like button, comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you give this recipe a try, please let me know how it turned out at the comment section. Do not forget to share this video. Tell the akara seller they can make more money by making this rich, fluffy akara. I will see you on the other flip side. Bye for now. Lots of kisses.